Hi, this is April from Offer HR and Business Solutions. Welcome to our second Tuesday of the month Google Hangout. We do Google Hangout every the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of the month. Here you can send me your HR questions. We have a lot going on at Offer HR and Business Solutions. We're here from 7 to 8 o'clock. I want you to send me your questions. If you have questions on overtime regulations, employee engagement, progressive discipline, name it. Whatever your question is, we're happy to help. Want to know also what your goals were for January 1st for your organization and your human resource department. Did you plan to get more engaged? Did you redo that employee handbook that you've been putting off? We have a lot of new regulations coming or that were in store for employee handbooks this year. If you have questions regarding your employee handbook, please feel free to text me or email me, all4hr@all4hr.net or all4hrbiz@gmail.com. We also have our blog, all4hr at blogspot.com, and then our radio show, which is all4h on the air with all4hr biz, which is twice a month. Our next show is coming up, and it's on 12 usually at 12:30 to 1:30, and our next show is the 21st of July, so you can send me questions that way. We have a lot of things in store for All4HR Business Solutions, and our goal is to help you get your HR where you need it to be so that it is fueling the fire that is growing your organization. So real quick, we have the overtime and minimum wage exemptions that actually took or became effective in 2004, but there have been some changes. Everyone's been talking about those changes, and knowing that the new changes will be solidified December 1st, 2016. So you want to get those started as soon as possible. Don't procrastinate like I do. You will know that the some things that have been HR things that have been trending for 2016. At the top is the overtime exemptions and regulations that took place this year, and again that will be solidified and in place as of December 1st. So again, we don't want those to catch you off guard. Also, we want another HR issue that has been at the top and trending this year, which is always trending, is employee engagement, ways to engage our workforce. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, baby, like that. Stop it. Sorry about that. But some ways to engage your workforce. Employee engagement is very important when you're growing an organization because it lets our employees know that they are appreciated. And so they are working hard in your organization. As you know, as employees, employees spend almost more time at the office or on the job as they do at home. So, want to choose people that are champions in our workplace, and you want to focus on energizing your HR function. And you can do that by, again, engaging your employees. I think we all know that sticking their head down in the sand and ignoring employee issues in the workplace is not very effective. So we want to meet those HR goals that you have put in place for the 2016. You want to put those in place and make sure you're gauging the effects of them, and if they are needing to be changed. There are also strategies that we at Offer HR, we focus on all different kinds of strategies, HR strategies that will help you in your workforce. If you look at our website, offerhr.net, it'll tell you a lot about what we do, because what we do here is we manage small and mid-sized companies, and been around for a long time. So again, we want to ask your questions, answer your questions on if you have progressive discipline issues you want to address, if you need a progressive discipline policy. At the end of the month, we have a onboarding HR toolkit that is going to be coming out. Onboarding is another engagement strategy, HR engagement strategy, that helps us to bring employees on board and make sure they're prepared to do the best job possible, to give of themselves, and the organization to give of itself as well. And so the onboarding practices has been kind of new within the last, say, 4 or 5 years, but employers are now realizing how important it is to bring employees on board, and how establishing the appropriate job descriptions that are state mandated are put in place before you actually hire a new employee. Before you even start the job hunt, you want to make sure that job description meets the requirements of the state, and that you're not putting individuals into positions and then putting them into positions and then realizing that you are adding additional tasks and requirements of them that you did not let them know, or that are not included within their job descriptions. Those are key ways to lose great employees. And so a lot of times one of the focuses at the beginning of the year Offer HR talked very in depth about was job descriptions, and how sometimes you need to restructure job descriptions. You may want to split the task up for job descriptions to to another employee if it's too much for the employee that is in a certain position. The last thing you want to do is have your employees feeling overwhelmed and underappreciated and overworked and scary words like that. So, you want to make sure that they're comfortable, they are well trained. In March, I think we talked about it. We talked in depth about training and putting together a training program for your organization for key positions, so that when you hire a new employee. The training goes hand in hand with onboarding. When you bring on a new employee, you want to make sure that employee is well trained, and that they are not just trained but qualified to get the job done effectively. So a lot of recruiting is also a HR strategy that we talked about in, I believe it was April. It may have been a little earlier. Can't remember. They're all running together a little bit. But recruiting strategies is something that companies are constantly working on, critiquing their recruiting strategies and making sure, you know, they're getting top talent and they're putting the correct persons in positions that are a good fit for your organization. There is nothing more frustrating than putting an individual, hiring an individual and getting a person into a position, onboarding them. And so you're spending the money recruiting them and you're training them. And then after 30 days or so, you realize, uh-oh, this person was not a good fit. So you want to be careful with that. And so if you're looking for help with recruiting, that is an aspect that we're going to touch on at the end of the month. Again, we're on the upside of 2016, and so we are getting ready to make the upside of 2016 the best of 2016. That is our new focus for 2016. Is not thinking that it is the end of the year, so we about winding down, because we're definitely not winding down. We are revving up for a great end of 2016 and a even smashing 2017. So I want to, want your questions. You can email me at offerhr.net and or offerhr offerhr at offerhr.net or offerhrbiz at gmail.com. We are on the web, and just wanting to real quickly, I'm going to give you some questions that are engaged, or you designed to engage your employees. And so we're right at this moment, we're going to focus a little bit on employee engagement. And so some questions that you can use that are good for engaging your staff. If you see that you have some issues, or that your employees, one or two, sometimes it's one or two or more, are not engaged as you would like them to be, you want to put that in, kind of stop that as soon as possible, so that, again, you are having the best employees, the best workforce that you can have. And so some questions that you can that you can ask your employees. You can actually just do a survey if you like. A quick 5-question a quick 5-question survey that you can give to your manager. You can direct it to your management staff and your support staff, or you may want to focus in your HR department first, or your finance department. You might want to target a smaller group as opposed to going to the whole workforce, depending on the size of your organization. And so some questions that you can ask is, how can you help your employee, the individual employee, the employees that are are that you're targeting in a survey. If you'd like a survey, all for HR has those designed, and we would be glad to shoot you one, and you can use it for your organization. And all we ask is that you let us know how it worked for you, if it was beneficial for you, and if it was effective in you finding out currently where your level of engagement is in your organization, and how you can improve the level of engagement that is among your workforce. If you're dealing with projects, and you may have a certain number of people working on a project, and so things may not be getting done, as effectively as you would like, or maybe running behind schedule, or things that you can see that are hindering the process with achieving and finishing the project. Is that what else? You can ask them, what else do you need? Do you have all the tools? Is there a problem with the way things are being handled? Those are questions that you can ask to put your project and your project team back on track. It's helpful in our project teams or in departments to talk to your groups and find out, discuss the progress that a particular project is having or not having, or customer complaints is another one, another way to find out how your how engaged your employees are. So if you're having customer complaints, the last thing you want to do is ignore them. You want to make sure that they are addressed immediately. When you have a project, you want to make sure that the criteria for the project is outlined. Every person in that project knows their job, and even not just with projects, but when you are in your everyday job, the everyday jobs and tasks and duties and requirements that you are expecting of your workforce, and that they're collaborating with their teams or with other members in their department. You want to make sure that they have what they need, and if there are confrontations or there are some strains within a particular group or on a particular project, understand that the longer you overlook those, the more problematic they will become. So don't ever be afraid to ask, as a leader, to ask your workforce, your team members, why things, what are we lacking? What needs, do you have everything you need? Or, do you perhaps recommend another tool that will make this project get done more effectively, or your job done more effectively? These are things that engage your workforce, your team members, and let them know that you really value their opinions, their credibility, and their level of creativity. Be sure to find out to make sure your teams and your workforce or employees are supporting each other, and just working in harmony as much as possible. And again, when you see different things, don't be afraid to confront them and knock those problems right out the way, so that you know, you get your teams done, your teams operating well together, and your clients are happy and your employees are happy. These are key ways to grow your workforce in your organization and build your organizational culture. Have you another area we talk about, we focus on, is the employee handbook. I don't know if, would love to find out if there are policies that you may be looking for, or that you may feel need to be updated. In September, where we'll have a ebook with all of the with the regulations that we're putting together for updating your employee handbooks. So, and with another HR strategy is your progressive discipline. How is that working for you? Are you being consistent? Of course, our goal is to never need progressive discipline policies, but when they are in place to protect the employer and the employee. At Alpha HR, just want to tell you a little bit about what's going on with us, and then we're going to get back into it. But we have some great things going on this month. Again, we're on the upside of 2016. We're looking forward to having a fantastic latter part of 2016 and being ready for 2016 to just, our 17 to come on in. Before you know it, 2016 will be right here at our door. So we're really excited about that. Want you to make sure you follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, check out our blog. Our blog is coming out tomorrow. And we're getting excited about the end of 2016 and really growing your organizations. Small organizations, a lot of small organizations don't have the resources to have a HR manager, and so Offer HR is dedicated to making your organization a success, to handling and effectively handling HR management practices and HR strategies so that you can focus on building your business. The most important part of building a company is investing in your human capital, in your workforce, because without a great workforce, it is impossible to have great customers. And so we have, again, this is our first Google Hangout for the month of July, and we will have another one on the 26th, and on the 21st we have our On the Air with Offer HR Biz, 12:30 to 1:30. And then at the end of the month, we also have a HR networking event that's coming up, which is a lot of fun. We have a meetup group, HR Lovers. Feel free to go to meetup.com and search for HR Lovers. Join our group. That's another way to send your HR questions to us. We are more than happy to find out what your challenges are in your HR department and stomp those challenges out and grow your organization. We're going to touch a little bit on our on the overtime and the minimum wage. HR issues. That is a big one this year. I have a lot of employers that are nervous about December 1st. Want to, you know, get it right. And so we have a lot of people that have been at a lot of questions on the overtime issues, and some questions that you may be still asking is on the executive exemption. This is the overtime and minimum wage, and these are the changes that have already taken effect, but they will be mandated December 1st, 2016. And so to qualify for executive employee exemption, you must have the compensated salary base rate is not less than $4.55 per week. Remember also that when you are classifying someone as an executive exempt, that a lot of it depends on the duties that they are doing, the duties and the tasks that they're doing. So their primary duty is managing, not a lot of clerical work and things of that nature. Customarily and regularly direct the work of at least 2 or more full-time employees is another requirement, which again the manager has to be managing a workforce of at least 2 individuals. And they also have to have the authority to hire or fire employees. Some challenges that in classifying executive as exempt is the person really salaried? Any appropriate deductions or fluctuations tied to the hours worked may result in the loss of salary status of exemption. So you have to make sure you keep a close eye on the hours depending on if they are salaried. Is the person really in charge, or are you just saying they're in charge? They again have to be managing a workforce of at least 2 people. They should be in charge of a department or a subdivision, and not an assistant. That's for the executive exemption. For administrative exemption, to qualify for the administrative employee exemption, they also have to be the salary has to be not less than $455 per week, and their primary duties has to be performing office or non-manual work directly related to management or general business operations of the employer or an employer's customers. And so they will do tasks such as um, when, such as onboarding, when you're making sure the forms are correct and that you have the correct ID for the I-9s are filled out correctly, and things of that nature. Those are considered as administrative duties. And some challenges in the administrative exemption is also, is that person really salary? Inappropriate deductions and fluctuations. You have to be careful, because if you are taking deductions and you're saying that this person is making $455 per week, but then you are fluctuating between the health care or different deductions that you're including in that's in the payroll, that's being deducted from that their pay, it can take them below the 455 per week mark, which can actually get you in trouble if you're not very careful with that. Is the person, this is the administrative exemption, is the person's primary duty work that is office? Is their primary work office work, not manual? This is what is considered as a white collar exemption. It does not apply to those that produce product, which means blue collar workers. Highly specialized skills are not the same. Judgment must relate to the matters of significance. So in other words, when you're using your judgment to define this person as exempt or not, you have to take a careful look at the duties that they're doing. And if you want more clarification, send me an email, allforhr@allforhr.net or allforhr biz@gmail.com. Feel free to go on Facebook and post a question, or Twitter. Either way you can get a hold of me, and we love to answer your questions. For professional exemptions, a professional exemption employee that's exempt, they have kind of the same requirements as the executive and the administrative, and their base rate is also cannot be less than $455 per week. Again, be careful with those exemptions, with the fluctuations and deductions. Their primary duty must require advanced knowledge, in like a degree capacity, if you will. And so this is, say, like they have a bachelor's degree, so it would be like nursing or an attorney. There's several professional exemptions, but it's still very much the same as the professional, not the professional, but the administrative exemption and the executive. Their primary duty must be, the performance require advanced knowledge. They should have advanced knowledge in a field or a science. And must be customarily acquired by a prolonged course of specialized intellect. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a degree program, but some level of training. Excuse me, I have a in my eye. Okay, much better. There's also an exemption of the creative professional employee exemption. And so that one is also the same, the base rate of $455 per week. And their primary work should be invention, imagination, originality, or talent. And so that is perhaps dancers or writers, things of that, or professions such as those are what are classified as creative professional employee exemptions. Computer, there's the computer employee exemption. It also has the $4.55 per week if it is compensated hourly, not less than $27.63 an hour. These positions consist of like computer systems analysts, programmers, software engineers, and professions that are in that field. And their primary duties are systems analyst techniques, procedures, hardware, software, and system function specifications. So they design, develop, analyze, and create. They do testing, modification on computer systems. Outside sales exemption. The employees must be making sales and obtaining orders and contracts for services. The employee must be regularly engaged away from the employer's place of business. So this is not someone that sits on the phone and does not go outside of the office, but just sits there and does sales calls. They're the highly compensated employees. They perform office or non-manual work, and their annual compensation is $100,000 or more, which must include at least the $4.55 per week. And then the blue collar workers. The exemption only applies to white collar workers. The exemption does not apply to blue collar workers who perform work involving repetitive operations. And so that's like production, maintenance, construction, carpenters, electricians, professions of that nature. That also includes police, firefighters, paramedics, and other responders. So again, if you have questions regarding the overtime exemptions or the exemptions or the regulations, shoot me an email. We'll have a webinar next month that we will cover the overtime wages or wage and exemptions more in depth. So if you have a question, send it to me, and then we'll look forward to seeing you next month at our overtime. It'll be at the end of August, but our overtime exemption webinar. So we have again, a lot going on at Offer HR and Business Solutions. We're very excited. We want you to keep following us. And I'm looking for questions. If anyone wants to send questions, feel free to. Don't know why that's disabled. The question and answer. So some other things that have been going on in HR news. I don't know if you've been able to catch our our different our HR articles that we post during the day. They are trending articles. Um, Always great information. And if you pull one and you want to ask questions, be sure to send them to me. Um, we want you to stay tuned because All for HR and Business Solutions has great things coming up on August the 1st. We're counting down. We have 18 more days left until the new All for HR and Business Solutions. We have some great, it'd be really surprised. We're very excited about August the 1st. Can't wait for you to see what we're doing at All for HR and how we're bringing things together to help you grow your organization. I know you're having trouble managing conflict in your office. Send us some questions, and we'll be glad to help iron that out for you. In dealing with conflicting information, or not conflicting information, but scenarios with conflict, you want to be sure to tread softly but be direct, and make sure those policies for progressive discipline are updated and outlined in your employee manual. And so we are going to wrap up. We are just at the 45-minute mark, and want you to stay tuned to hear more from us, All for HR Business Solutions. allforhr.net is where our virtual home is, and we are addressing HR issues. We want to help you engage your employees. We want to find out what your challenges are, and we are sure that we can help make your workforce phenomenal. So we want you to visit us on our blog, All for HR, at blogspot.com. We are on Facebook, All for HR and Business Solutions. We have a ebook coming out at the end of the month. We also have a white paper that's coming out, which is going to be phenomenal. It's going to show you the benefits of virtual HR and how virtual HR is bridging the gap between small business and effective HR. Again, we will be on the radio. We'll be broadcasting on the 21st, 12:30 to 1:30. And we'll be doing the All for HR Hangout again on the 26th. So, second and the fourth Tuesday of every month is our Google Hangout. And the first and the third Thursday of the month is our regular show at 12:30 to 1:30. I have enjoyed you all. This is recorded, so I want you to, after this is over, again, feel free to drop us your questions and your HR questions. And we look forward to seeing you on the 26th for our next Google Hangout, or seeing you on our radio, or talking to you on our radio show where you can call in with your questions. Until then, I want you to watch us. And remember, we are excited about All for HR. Something big is going to happen August the 1st. Something really, really, really big. So until then, I will see everyone. I want everyone to have a great HR day tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is Winning Wednesday at All for HR and Business Solutions. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.